Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. I believe we are live. How you doing? It's been a little while since I've done a stream, so I figured, hey, what the hell? Let's go for it. How's your new social contracts going? What do I mean by that? I mean the goofiness that the world has become. I live in Illinois, and Illinois has been mask mandate free for several weeks. And it's funny to see how people still wear masks. Like the damage has been done, you know? I kind of saw that coming ever since a year ago. It's what happens when you lie to yourself. You aren't honest. You live in deceit, lies, deception. Can't get a hold of your own vices, and you want the world to change to accommodate your feelings. This isn't an aggressive live stream. It's just I haven't been on here in a while, and I'm tired. Um, the new social contracts. People are weird now, as if the last year hasn't been weird enough. I go to shake someone's hand, and they're like, "What are we doing? Are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this? Well, I don't know." And I go, "You're gonna shake my fucking hand." All you have to do, folks, is not try to accommodate other people. You just reach your hand out like you always did for all those decades before this last year, and you say, "Shake my hand." You don't even say it. We all know what that means. So the new social contracts are weird. Now people have made life even more complicated than it is, and life is very simple, folks. It's very simple. When you meet somebody, you shouldn't have to ask 18 questions before you do a hand gesture. It's just a given. That's it. So it's goofy, right? Am I not wrong on this? I mean, it's really goofy to see people doing this for the last year. It's like, where you been, Matt? I'm like, I got a son now. It's wonderful. Brief note on fatherhood. Best thing I've ever done. My son is amazing. So, have children if you haven't already. There's no other purpose in this world. If you think it's about fame, money, status, accolades in life that mean dick, okay. You'll be in hell and you'll be miserable. You'll probably take a handful of pills, shove them down your throat, and say, my life's pretty good. Have fun. There is a lot of people who don't want that. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that you can't do that whole, like, let everybody do what they want. No, you have to stand up for stuff. I'm pleased to say that I'm seeing the entire public school education system just be dismantled left and right, which is great. It was shit. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it is today as when I was in school, but damn, is it bad. Oh, critical race theories just getting pummeled by strong moms. It's like, where's the dads, though? I mean, honestly. Ladies, my hat is off to you because you're doing what the man should be doing, which is getting in there and saying no to nonsense. However, where are any men? Oh, I know. Most of them are probably watching a lot of porn, jerking off, playing video games, and cheating on their spouses. And then they want to tell me how to live. Okie dokie. Now, I shun behavior for the simple fact is I know where that behavior leads, and I myself have partaken in certain behaviors in my life, so I know where that road leads. It leads to a very unhappy hell that nobody should go down, and I speak from experience. I think in this world, people have honestly cast aside an individual's experience because they don't trust that source, as if a person's life isn't a good source of information, you know? Somebody tells you they did something and didn't work out, and they showed you how that didn't work, and you're like, no, no. I want to go to the doctor's office. I want to see what they have to say. They went to school. They're the experts. There is no such thing as an expert. Okay? You could spend the rest of your life studying one thing, and you'll still never be an expert on it because there's too much in this world that you don't know, and I don't know, and I don't claim to fucking know, but I know that I don't know, so I sure as hell know that you don't know. That's what I know. You follow me? I don't know. But I don't lie to myself. That's one of the greatest solutions that anyone could do, especially in this past year. You know, everybody's all excited. You going out to the beach? Huh? You having a good time going back out to the things you used to like to do? Can you really do it with as much feeling as you used to? Can you really go back to doing the things that you used to do and just brush off this last year of your shitty behavior? And by I mean shitty, I've seen a lot of your comments on the internet. A lot of you who unfriended me. I know. And I'm not being condescending here. It seems like that. If somebody didn't point out my flaws, how would I have ever improved on them? It's the same thing with anyone else, man. It's like, I just know your flaws, improve on them, let them go. We'll never go back to the way it was, and people are trying. They're just excited, like, I can't believe I sat back for a year. I go, okay. So now you know how easily things could be taken from you, and nobody ever took it from you. You took it from yourself. Remember that. It was by your own hand. Evil always needs your consent to do anything. Anything. You have to say, okay, take it. Ha 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 ha. It's like, man, the good news is we're as strong as the yin was in this world, there's an opposite yang, which has spawned, which is so good, which I felt it last year. I felt it was the best thing that could happen to this world because it is separating people, but in a way that needs to be separated. I'm sorry to tell you, we can't all mingle as a species, guys. We're like birds. There's a whole ton of different birds, but they all don't flock together. But birds of a feather do, and you think that's just a saying. You think that just sounds good because, you know, those words that are put together, birds of a feather flock together because it rhymes. No, it's a true thing. The separation you've seen society come into today is good. And what I mean by that, it's pushing people into an area that is more them anyway. You know what I mean? It's more like the area where you are being honest with yourself, and this is where you want to be, and that's fine, but be there. You know, there's that, you can't fit everyone into a box and checklist and have it be all the same and categorize things and have it become this list of, if I just check, we should all be this, have the same outcome in life. That's the variables of life are beyond infinite that you can't do that. However, our current society has tried to make us do that. Like, do these things, this will happen. There's truth in that because it can be twisted. You can get a result by taking action, and eventually you'll reap what you sow. However, how people get there is not always the same way. It's a variation of ways. It's variables of taking different paths and choices in life, right? And now you're seeing people really realize that the only people that do anything to you is yourself. It's just you. You know, every choice you've made this last year, whether you decided it was a good idea to social distance and maybe you were scared in the beginning, I give you that. An unknown thing. It's a little scary. But here we are, right? A year and a half later, and you were fooled, and everybody was fooled, and you should forgive yourself and not condemn the people who knew before you, but to learn to trust somebody who is not out for anything for you. Ask yourself, what do people have to gain by telling you the truth of how they view something? They're not going to take money from you. They're telling you out of the kindness of their heart because they believe that what they are witnessing isn't good for you or anybody. There's no motive. Ask yourself, what is the means, motivations, and opportunities of human beings? Start with yourself. What are your means, motives, and opportunities? And when you get to the bottom of you, you can clearly see that there were a lot of people trying to warn you there was danger ahead. And you kept going. And you went right over the edge. You went right over the edge to the point where you wouldn't feel comfortable unless you got injected with poison. Oh, yes. Oh, Matt, you don't know that. I go, you also don't know what the hell's in your arm. And you were willing to risk your health and well-being so you can go to the beach. I find that fascinating. It's fascinating, but yet not surprising, considering everything that you look at from a screen tells you what the world is, gazing into a crystal ball, right? Liquid crystal display. Crystals. What were crystal balls used for? Gazing into things. Look into the crystal ball to see your future. You're looking at a screen right now if you're watching this. Screen's made of crystals. Liquid crystals. Isn't that crazy? It's funny how you look at stuff. I'm not trying to ever... I say a lot of goofy shit. I have a way of putting words into reality. However, I'm not here to get you to believe a goddamn thing. I'm just here to maybe see stuff from a different point of view. And if you can do that, you'll actually find out how okay you really are, What are the new social contracts? Well, for me, they never change. I will walk up to you, shake your hand like a man, put my hand out, and I will test you and see if you have a decent grip. I've seen women have to become men. You know what? That's the funny thing, right? You know how the last few years we were always talking about men can't be women, women can't be men? Well, unfortunately, the last year has made that so, but not in the sense of, pretending that men are women. It's women are the only ones I see speaking up at these gatherings and functions, and even their husbands didn't have the balls to go out in public without a mask on and take a little bit of ridicule. You're the fucking man. You're supposed to be willing to die for your family. At the very least, have some dignity and respect for yourself. Oh man, it's fascinating. I've lost a lot of respect for people. And it doesn't matter whether I respect you or not, because I'm just a guy, right? Does it matter if I respect you or you respect me? It really doesn't matter. But you can't change the truth and the reality of the situation is, and you were all fooled. So don't be fooled anymore. There's a way out of that. Be honest with yourself. Always, always, always. I can't stress this enough. It always comes back down to this. I saw a friend of mine post something on Facebook, and she was open about her struggles. And Facebook sometimes, it's not the place to bring that shit in there publicly, because there aren't a whole lot of people offering any kind of solution to those problems. This is what a lot of people do. I agree with you 100%. You're awesome. You're gonna be all right. You offered nothing of value to that person who just had to bear their soul out because they finally realized in their life that their way of doing something and looking at something and how they behave is no longer of use to them. I can see that pretty clear. So what do I have to offer? A solution. Reflect on yourself. Reflect on these things that no longer work for you. Reflect on the behaviors and the ideas and the concepts that you used to hang on to with dear life, and they'll fucking take you to your grave because you can't let them go. Reflect on them and then realize how much you don't need them. And replace them with something new. Something new. What's new? I don't know. any kind of perspective, really. I mean, you can, honesty with yourself is where you always start with you. This no longer works for me. I have to do something different. Now I need to listen to a different idea and practice it in my life if I truly don't want to suffer like this anymore. Because you will suffer. We all will suffer. Everybody suffers. But you have to go through a level of suffering to get you to a point where that pain no longer hurts. You have to be willing to reflect on that pain and look truly at yourself and within yourself and own it, embrace it, don't run from it. Don't try to hide from it. Don't run away because it'll always creep back up. So the techniques that can be implemented in this are being in the now, always. Don't worry about the future. Don't dwell on the past. You know, everybody fucked up in the last year, right? You said some things. Maybe you didn't go visit grandma before she died because somebody told you were going to kill her anyway in the hospital. That's okay. Forgive yourself. Maybe you skipped the holidays this past year because you were too afraid of corona that you didn't realize wasn't as deadly as you thought, and na. Maybe the honest truth you should have had with yourself was you never really wanted to go, and you used it as an excuse. And if that is the truth, admit it. But don't pretend that that you would have gone anyway. You really didn't want to go. You never did. You resent your family. You hate the people around you. But you don't have the balls to tell them what your problem is with them, do you? I don't know. Just throwing out things, guys. So, if you bring yourself to the now, wherever you're at, you won't worry about the future. You won't even be dwelling in the past. You'll be wherever you are, wherever that is, in the now. At the grocery store, the gas station, your job. Be in the now, wherever that is at. You'll slowly start to realize that nothing's wrong with you, and it never was. And there's nothing to fear. Death is inevitable for us all, guys. And if you truly just want to go back to eating hot dogs in the summer and hanging out on the beach and that's your way of life, there's a lot more to it than that, guys. There's a big other wave of crash of shit happening over the horizon. You're seeing it now with the prices of food going up, gas prices, oil shortages. What good is being able to inject yourself with poison and go travel somewhere when there's no oil to fill the transportation that would get you to where you need to be? Ever think about it like that? Now, not only can you not go anywhere, but now you're injected with poison. So if you do get sick, how are you going to get there? There's no oil. There's no gas for the car. These are hypotheticals. But in all honesty, that's what would happen. You know, your car runs out of gas. What do you got? Say everybody's car ran out of gas tomorrow, right? Gas was gone. No tanks coming to fill the gas stations up. Every gas station's dry. Now your car's fucking worthless. You spent all that time saving your pennies, taking out that 6-year loan to pay for that BMW. Now that BMW is a roadblock because it doesn't have any gas, it doesn't have any oil, it doesn't drive. What do you do then? But yeah, it would never happen, Matt. I go, okay. Well, what would you do, Matt? I'm like, I'm growing food. If you can grow your own food and be self-sustaining in your own home, you're going to be fine. If you got some neighbors, you got some family that does the same thing, man, oh, dude, you'll be great. You'll be great because you'll have what you need around you, the community that can keep you together. That's why everybody's separating. They're joining smaller groups and tribes. Why? Because that's how you have to survive. Not survive. That's a bad way to look at it. I don't think we've ever survived in this world. I'm of the belief that we have been here for a very long time. Our entire history is completely skewed, and there's a lot we really don't know. And I could feel it in my soul. The older I get, man, the longer I stopped lying to myself, the more I could see these synchronicities in my life, the clearer it becomes. And it becomes the same for you if you have the ability to stop. I know we all grew up in this world, and we all grew up with the Nickelodeons and the fun baseball games and the footballs and the everything. It's over, man. It's okay. It's not the first time it's been over. It won't be the last. So, I know it seems crazy because you're like, where are you going with this? I'm like, I'm just kind of ranting. The new social contract is there never was a new one. It's the same one there always was. Shake people's hands, hug them, love them, because you don't know the hour of your death, the time. And if you did, would you really want that? Would you like to live up in the fear until your last moment, knowing that this exact second is when you were going to die? Don't cling to life because it leaves us all. I I've let go of everything I've ever fucking loved in my life, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done. But by doing that, it makes me appreciate more. And I know that sounds strange to people. I know that seems like, oh, you don't care, or what the fuck are you talking about? No, it means I have a tremendous gratitude for life now because I don't cling to it. I'm okay going tomorrow or 30, whatever. I'm fine. That doesn't mean I want to off myself. But I don't let the stresses of this world bother me anymore. Grow your own food. It works. I just plucked some pickles I made pickles. I plucked cucumbers that came up the other day. I made 5 little jars. Two big old pickles made me 5 8-ounce jars of pickles. Abundance is everywhere, guys. The only true shortage of things is if you don't learn to have some responsibility for yourself, and if you just siphon off to the last bit all your responsibility in life, you will suffer horribly if you haven't already. I saw more people die in the last year, and it had not a goddamn thing to do with a fucking nonsense virus. I'll give you a list of names of people that I know that aren't here anymore because it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with fear, the inability to look at yourself and accept your demons and to embrace them in the sense that you can defeat them in a way. Well, they're never ever truly defeated, but you can keep them at bay, right? So, I'm going to go back to hanging out with my son, who's napping, who's adorable, by the way. He is a blessing. And he is the happiest baby. And everybody says that about their kid, but I come from a person who like love-hated children at some point. You know, and then now it's your kid, and you're like, my son, as soon as he wakes up in the morning, he looks at me and he smiles. That is pure. And you have the ability to continue that as the generations go on, which is what you're going to see happen. The generations of this bullshit, it's over. The shit train has come to a halt. We're all getting off. Well, at least some of us are getting off. And we're going to go over there. We're going to make some food. We're going to grow it. We're going to have a good time. We're going to help each other. It's going to be great. We are doing that. It's wonderful. But if you went back and just like decided to get a vaccine because you were scared because you thought maybe you couldn't get on a plane, you were wrong. And I'll say that. You were wrong. And you can't go back. And you did it to yourself. What about that? Oh, my sun's up. I gotta go. Don't take yourself too seriously, folks.